Keep It Real with Jordan Pugh here on the program. For a couple years, we've been doing it. We're going to kind of switch it up a little bit because, he's got some straight facts for us. But before we do that, Jordan, how are you, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good, How you doing?
I'm good. So you were pretty loud harping about the offense last year. So here we are. I'm going to let you be loud. What'd you think? First impressions.
Look good. So let's go back to what we talked about last week. Last week, we talked about the offensive line dominating. We talked about opening up the offense. We talked about Connor being the guy, right? So the one thing that I think that was shown was Connor is the guy. You saw the poise in the pocket. You saw the full command of the offense. You saw I think you saw a snippet of what his full ability can be, right? So you saw the downfield throws, the downfield threats. You saw his feet in action when the pocket broke down. But most importantly, you saw him just lead the offense on sustained drives. That's the biggest thing that you wanted to see. So, I also say that we need to have at least 24 by halftime. They upped me by one score and they had 35, right? That's what you want to see. If we're the superior team, we need to dominate the inferior team. That's what you saw. I think that's a good momentum builder going into the Miami game. Yeah, I thought Jimbo had better control of the team or the operations overall. He had that burden of calling the plays off his plate. It looked more fluid. It looked more seamless this go around, man. So I think that's encouraging for the team. And I'm really encouraged by what the offense did overall, man. I thought they were dominant. I thought they had explosive plays. Everything that we wanted to see last year came to fruition this year.
Well, I got to talk about that wide receiver room, especially Big Noah Thomas, man, and Evan. Like I feel like every time I mention Noah, I got to mention Evan, but the whole group, man.
Yep. Well, we said it a couple of weeks ago too. I think we have the most underrated receiver room in the country. I think we have one of the top receiver rooms in the country. So you look at Stewart, at 115 yards receiving, something like that, over 100, 2 touchdowns. You look at Noah, every time you turn around, it looked like he was scoring a touchdown. You know what I mean? Big body. He reminds me of Mike, a lot of Mike Evans. Same kind of body type, can go attack the ball in the air. Moose hardly touched the ball. Anais hardly touched the ball. I mean, you're looking at two of the most dynamic guys we have in the receiver room, and they hardly touched the ball. And when they did, they were dynamic with it. The biggest thing with this team was we wanted to see them score a lot of points, dominate, of course, but it was just the operation and the systems of the offense. It looked smooth. It looked like a team that had 4- and 5-star players. That's what it looked like. And so that is encouraging, man. If there's anything to be encouraged about, is that it was a seamless operation.
Talking to Jordan Pugh here on Texags Radio. I got to ask you about the defense because people will point at that one drive and really that one big run. But other than that, I mean, they did what they were supposed to do.
It looked good. The front, we talked about dominating on both lines of scrimmage. I thought the front made their presence felt. Walter Nolan was dominant. I think Shamar Stewart made his case. Overall, man, I think that they did what they needed to do defensively. It was nothing that we didn't expect. I think the jury's still out, not in the secondary, but at the corner position. I still want to see more. I think this Miami game is going to tell us more. You got better athletes, better competition at that wideout spot. But overall, defensively, I think it was less than 250 yards total offense, if I'm not mistaken, less than 100 yards rushing. You can win a whole lot of games with that type of performance on defense. I also thought the offense helped the defense. When you play defense, you know that your offense can put up points. You know that your offense can sustain drives. You know that you have the new clock rule where games are shortened. Man, it does something to a defense and allows you to play more free. You know what I mean? It allows you to take more risk. It allows you to be more aggressive, knowing that your offense can put points up and they can do it consistently. So I think that played a part in the defense as well. I just think this team is very confident. I like a lot of the words that they said. I like how they said they have to prove something this year. They played with a certain type of determination, and that excites me moving forward.
Talking to Jordan Pugh here, Texags Radio. Miami, you said earlier, there's a guy on our chat talking about Go Canes, which he should hear this. You talked about being able to take care of business against an inferior opponent. I don't look at Miami as an inferior opponent per se because I still think of them as the U. That being said, A&M's got more 5-stars, more 4-stars. They've got a coach who's been there longer. A&M is going on the road, but I don't think that's a hostile environment, at least in the stadium. Your thoughts on going to Miami?
This should be a game that we should win, just point blank, period. I think overall we have a better team. I think the coaching is pretty even as far as just when it comes to a coaching staff. They have a good staff over there at Miami. I just don't know if they have the players yet. I don't think overall they have the players, nor do they have the depth. I think offensively, we have a mismatch when it comes to our offensive line and their defensive line. I think our skilled players, player for player, are better overall on the offensive from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, I think our front is going to be the strength of our team all year. I think our front is superior to their offensive line. I think where our weaknesses show, where we talk about the secondary, we talk about the linebacker position, that's where you want to see the growth from week 1 to week 2. I think that's going to be the key with us moving forward is how do we handle the pass game? How do we handle any type of adversity on big plays? Because there will be big plays in this game that Miami will present because Miami improved as well. Offensively, you just want to keep the consistency. I love the mixing up in the play calling. I love the rhythm of the play calling. I love all those different operations that we had. So I think, man, this game should be one that we should win. I think we should win it handily, but also you're going on the road for the first time. I thought week 1, you saw the maturity in the team. In the team, week 1, I need to see the growth in week 1 now as we go on the road. So I think that's going to be a test for us too.
Well, here's the thing, and I really do believe how the defensive line does in this game to me determines if it's a close game or a game where A&M gets a significant lead, because I feel like the offense is going to be able to move on anybody. That's just where I feel that they are right now. You got the QB, you got the system, you got the wide receivers, right? I want to see more from the running game. But if you stop their running game and force Tyler Van Dyke to throw, who's, by the way, he can throw the ball. Like, there's no doubt about it. I feel like that's going to be the difference in the game.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think, well, it was like I touched on earlier. Our D-line is superior. If we're looking at matchups, I think our D-line is superior to their offensive line. That controls the game. As everyone knows in football, the line of scrimmage is where you win or lose football games, right? And you're looking at a splash play. So when the D-line is not getting pressure, that's when you have a lot more big plays, a lot more splash plays. I just think overall we handle the run. We force them into predictable downs. Longer second down and distances, longer third down distances. I think you make it more predictable for the defense. It allows them to mix and match, allows them to bring zone dogs, different pressures. And I think we can control the tempo of what they do offensively. So the D-line is the key moving forward. And I really want to see their growth moving into week 2.
How about this? I don't think I complained once about a 3-man front. And by the way, I believe a 3-man front works on certain occasions, but I don't remember thinking it much. Did you?
No, look, the 3-man front works when everything is clicking on all cylinders. Now, I love 3-man front on third down, 3rd and 10. I like that because you got more DBs on the field, right? Now, first down, 1st and 10, 50-50 rundown, 60-40 rundown. Hey, man, can we get a little more beef up front? You know what I mean?
Right.
The one thing that you want to do is you want to put the play callers behind the chains, or you want to make them go down their list on their play call sheet on that 2nd and 3rd down. On the 1st down, if you're giving up 5-6 yards, man, you're looking at 2nd and short, 3rd and short. Shoot, man, the playbook's open. If I can create longer down and distances on 2nd and 3rd, man, defenses, boy, we live in that, right? Now the creativity, now the pressures come, now the mixing and matching comes. So, man, there's nothing wrong with that 3 front, but please, let's not get too happy in that. Let's live in the 4. We were successful. Keep that moving.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So we're going to try something new here because Jordan loves to spit straight facts and fire. So we're going to give him 7 facts. He's going to give us facts about the team, the season, college football, you name it, and he's going to back it up with some of his awesome takes. So, Jordan, what's your first fact?
My first fact is Conor Weigman is a dude. It's something that we believed. I think a lot of the fan bases believed all along. You saw the maturation factor come in with him. In this game, you saw him take command. You saw him take control. He had over 200-plus yards passing, I think, on less than 30 attempts. The completion percentage was high. You saw the guys dominate on the outside. I think another fact, our receiving core has got to be top 5, if not top 3 in the country. I know people got on me the first time I said it, but when you look at what we have on the outside, with the Evan Stewarts, the Noah Thomases, the Moose Muhammad's, the Anais Smith, I'm telling you, man, if we get this thing going and it gets churning and you allow Petrino to really take hold of this offense, the receiving core is going to be our shining spot. Now, with that being said, here's the one thing that I will say, and I think this is a fact as of today, as of week 1. Our run game has to get better. I don't think we have a bell cow yet. I don't think we have that guy at running back yet. I don't know if we identified that. When you're rotating 3 guys in, that tells me you don't have a guy that you can count on. When you look at Achane, you look at what he did last year. You look at Spiller with his time. You had certain guys that you can lean on during a game, so you can lean on those guys heavy. Who is that guy that we can lean on? You got Moss, you got Ruben Owens of the world. I just don't know what that looks like from that particular position. I think if our offensive line continues to sustain, we can find a guy, but we got to be able to improve that if we're going to make this long run that we want to make from that standpoint.
Hey, let me jump in there real quick on that fact, if you don't mind, Jordan. Yep. How much of that was, and I, by the way, I agree with you, but how much of that was the way New Mexico was playing you?
I don't think that had anything to do with it. At the beginning of the week, I told you we were the superior team. So I think you can impose your will at any point. I just don't know. Well, let me say it this way, because that's a good question that you asked. I think it's 2 things. I think one, we wanted to open up the offense. We wanted to see, we wanted to create a threat and put certain plays on film moving forward. I think that's a lot of what offenses do in week 1. A lot of offenses either show a lot or they don't show a lot. Either way, it's all strategic moving down as the schedule goes. Also, at the same time, I think we had a harder time getting a guy going offensively. Now, part of that can be the rotation that they had the guys in, but I think you only have a rotation in the running back position if you don't know who that guy is, because you're trying to find out who that guy is. Kind of like with Ohio State, kind of at their QB position, for example, to give some people context. You're looking for the guy. Who is the guy? I think it's Ruben Owens long term. I think it's him. But as of today, who is my bell cow? Who is my guy I can lean on? I can put my weight on that defense. We don't have that as of today. That could change on Saturday. For all we know, we could have that guy. So that's one of those things, man. I just think if we had to choose a weakness on the offense today, based off what we saw week 1, it's that running back position. That's the one thing that I think would be our weakness moving forward in the year.
All right, what's the next fact?
Next fact, man. Well, you're killing me with these facts, man. I'm trying to give them to you. I think our D-line could be a dominant presence in the SEC. That's what I think. I'm not 100% sold yet, but I think they could be a dominant presence. So, beginning of the year, I said I'm not a believer in LSU. I think LSU kind of proved me right a little bit. Florida State dominated them on the front. Alabama, I'm still up in there on Alabama. I think Alabama absolutely destroys Texas this week. I just got a gut feeling. I'm not sold on Texas. Georgia, slow start, not a lot. UT Martin, can't really tell too much from that. All right, so we look at the Arkansas of the world. We look at the Mississippi schools. There's really not a lot to tell. Like I said before, I think this is the year that we can take over the SEC West. I think it starts with our line play. Shamar Stewart, the Walter Nolans, McKinley Jacksons of the world. I think we have the pieces in place in order to be dominant. Week 1 to week 2, what I would like to see more of, I would like to see Miami held under 100 yards. If we can hold Miami under 100 yards total rushing, now I think you're seeing the progression of what the D-line can be. Now we're getting our rotation in. We're too deep. You don't recruit 4- and 5-star guys consistently year over year, top 5 recruiting classes year over year, and it doesn't finally pay off. I think this year is starting to see a little bit more. I think the D-line could be like our receiver position and can end up being one of the top guys, our top groups in the country. But they're still young. It's still a man position down on that line. But I think they can grow into that. That's what I think.
Jordan Pugh with us here on TexAgs Radio. Any other facts you want to spit, or we drop it there?
I think we drop it there, man. I think based off everything that I saw off week 1, those are the facts that I can give you. Now week 2, I have a whole lot more because now we're playing a team that's going to expose us a little bit more. You know what I mean? Expose either good or bad. But I think as of today, man, that's just where we stand from a team standpoint overall.
So let me follow that up with this. So if Miami is the caliber of team that I think they can be, right, and A&M does go there and takes care of real business, right? And I don't care how they've lost 6 straight on the road, right? I don't care real road games.
Yeah.
I don't care how they do it. But if they take care of real business, does that kind of change you from I think they can be this team to they are gonna be this team? Or we got to wait more?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Okay, I think it does. I think it's still. I think they can be this. All right, so let's use the Coach Prime example. Okay, everybody's hype on Colorado right now. Everybody's talking about Colorado. They own the week right now. Right now, with that being said, it's one game. Okay, what I saw in that game is a team that gave up 42 points to TCU. What I saw was a team that almost gave up 700 yards to TCU. That I don't know how sustainable that is. What you look for from week 1 to week 2 to week 3, you look for consistency. Jimbo talks about it all the time, but you look for a certain sustained play. I think we go into the Miami game. We do what we are supposed to do. And if we do that, I think we dominate the game. But now you're looking for that consistency and that sustainability. That's where you're trending in the right direction. The one thing that you want every single year is you want to be trending upward to where you peak. You peak when it's time to peak, whether that's towards the end of the season, moving into conference championship play / bowl game, whatever that is, you want to peak towards the end of that year. And that's what I'm looking more so for this team. Remember, we're still young, but we showed maturity in week 1. I want the maturity to translate to the road in week 2. That's what I'm looking for with this team. And that's going to be the tale for me moving forward with this season. What does that look like on the road in week 2?
Jordan, I got a question that came in on the text line for you. I'll just read it to you, and it's from Old Ag from the 903. Question for Coach Pugh. How much is finding a bell cow running back versus the run blocking needing to get a little bit better?
Oh, they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. You're nothing without the blocking. The O-line is everything when it comes to the run game. Now, if you have a bell cow, you have a guy who can find certain holes, who can manipulate blocks, and who can help the O-line block, i.e. kind of like a LaDainian Tomlinson back in the day. A lot of the zone scheme set up the blocks for him. That helps a lot as well. But I think you solidify that O-line, and then you find that guy who can lean on teams, right? Who can be explosive, but who can get those tough 3 to 4 yard runs as well. Those two go hand in hand, but that O-line, no matter what happens in the game of football, that's the most important play.
Jordan, I appreciate you, sir. We'll talk to you next week, all right?
Man, let's do it.
Let's do it. Thank you. Let's keeping it real with Jordan Pugh. Straight 5.